Hey, welcome to Rogue Fitness. My name is Kelly Starrett, and I want to talk about the newest addition to our line of tools to make you a better athlete. Now, this is the Battlestar, and this is the little Battlestar. And if a steamroller and a Wolverine and a chainsaw got together and had a baby, you know what they'd make? They'd make this. This is it. Now, what happened was we felt like we got into the good tissue shearing with the Supernova. We were able to kind of get into some of the detailed work and work on the thoracic spine with the Gemini, but what we were missing was a way of kind of creating larger global shear through some of these tissues and a little bit more grippy action. Now, most of the rollers out in the world are just tubes with foam over them, and they do a lot of kind of pressing and sort of steamrolling of tissues. We wanted something that created a lot more grip and caused a lot more shear in the joints, or in the joint tissue. So what we came up with was this concept. These are urethane, and what this allows us to do is not only create a normal good grip where I can really create a lot of gradients and create a lot of shear through these different actions, but what this allows me to do is create a ton of grip because the rubber is sticky. Now, what normally has happened is we were rolling back and forth on it, and I found that to be very difficult and annoying to make sort of detailed work in the body. So our crack team hatched the idea of dropping it into this cradle. This does a lot of things. This allows me to do a little bit more detailed work where I can take up the slack in the tissue, and then I can start to tack and floss, I can smash back and forth, and then I can also roll my body back and forth and be a little bit more precise instead of having the roller change underneath. We also found that this gave us a little bit more leverage on top of some of the tissue pieces that we wanted to get. In terms of getting into the hip and getting into some of the larger muscle groups, this allowed us to get up off the floor and be a little bit more detailed in some of this action we're having. Now, this was our original size. What we found is that we wanted a little bit more acute pressures for some of our tissues. So enter the little spindle. And this really does feel much more like a barbell, but with better grip and better kind of adhesion quality, so we can really wind up that tissue. I can control it with my hand and then smash back and forth. I have personally been on every roller on the planet and find them unsatisfactory. Lo and behold, we got into these, and I'll never go back. You can't go back. Now look, who can I grab? Katie, come on over. So, turns out that we found out that we love this technique, we love this tool, getting up, change. It allowed us to get into these really ugly tissues, T-spine, rolling. We felt like this was the roller, but lo and behold, it turns out that we figured out that if we snap some handles onto the roller, we got the best stick on the planet. Can I have you on your stomach for a second? The issue sometimes is that we want to put much harder pressures through the tissues, and this allows us to get much more aggressive. I mean, imagine me doing a handstand on this former games champion. This allows us to get rolling and do some much more detailed work in terms of kind of cranking out some of this stuff. So if you're into making friends with your friends, this is definitely the way. These are the X-Wing handles. They're an additional add-on snap-on, which truly makes us try to create a community of an ecosystem where we can really kind of create and solve most of the problems in the world. Between the Gemini, the Supernova, and the rollers, we feel like we've almost nailed it down. That's what's up. We'll see you guys around.